Most of them are around Stanley. The minefields have been identified and are cordoned off with 2 or 3 strand wire fences. The fences are marked with these signs. Do not enter these areas. It is a military and a civil fence to do so. Heed this warning. It is also a prevalent military offence to steal these signs from boundary fences. All of the hazardous areas are marked on minefield maps, like those displayed around the hall. The map shows 3 different areas. The green areas have been cleared by the REs and are believed to be safe. The blue areas show no evidence of minefields or booby traps. The red areas are known to contain mines or booby traps. Do not enter them. Some of the equipment you may find during your tour here are anti-tank mines, which are made of plastic and are designed to immobilize a 70-ton tank. However, they have been set off by cattle and sheep, and anti-personnel mines, which are small and easily covered by peat, sand or snow. These 2 are plastic and are virtually undetectable. Cluster bomblets dropped by our own Harriers. These are extremely dangerous. If you find one, do not touch it. Call us. You may also find some small items like small arms ammunition and hand grenades and water bombs. Remember these simple rules. Do not touch it. Mark the position of the object clearly. Mark the location on the minefield map and report your find to the Joint Services DoD Operations Centre at Stanley. Be safe and have a good tour. Thank you very much.
Pleased to meet you, Brian Barron. Welcome to the Falklands.
Oh, thank you.
Port Stanley, the Falklands capital, is built on the side of a hill, and the 600 houses are scattered over an area 1.5 miles long by a 1/4 mile wide. The population has risen since the 1982 conflict, mainly through an influx of British immigrants and skilled workers recruited through the British government. It now stands at around 1,200. The decision to make Stanley the Falklands capital was taken way back in the 1830s, simply because of the very accessible harbour, providing safe and secure anchorages, and also because the common contains the highest density of peat anywhere in the Falklands. About 80% of all Stanley's homes still use this coal-like substance for heating and cooking, and early morning peat smoke can be seen and smelt every day of the week. Like most towns in Britain, there are office workers, labourers, carpenters, masons and engineers, and shop assistants in Stanley. And for its size, the town boasts many shops, all of which appear to thrive most generously. Indeed, some even open at weekends now to cater for the visiting servicemen and contractors. The Upland Goose Hotel and Melvina Guest House are open all the year round, and they also provide meals to non-residents on request.
But you'll see a very fair variety throughout the stay.
Yes.
And keep an eye
We've
on
got about 160 species of local flora. But they're spread around the islands,
Yes.
you know, but we have.
Is there anything available on the wild plants of Falklands?
Mrs. Valentin's book on the Falklands plants is about the standard work.
Oh, I'd say so, but it's very rare.
Yes,
Got
it just
there might be a couple of copies in the island, but...
People tend to look after them
My
rather
God, yeah, you're just
heavily.
one of those, yeah. Hard to get hold of them.
Yes.
And they're all
There
so
is,
small, our local or native ones, that they sort of hug close to the ground, and you don't realise you're treading on half of them, really, before you see them.
I can show you, if you come out here, we're building a rockery, but it's just in this infancy stage, but I can show you some of them, and they're not looking 100% robust yet, but they're coming on. And I'll give you an idea, if you come along here.
I'm going to prefer portraits of all the previous governments.
Engineer regiment, just over 300 men, plus just over 100 men of 518 Royal Pioneer Company, moved down to the Falklands, primarily to strip out Stanley Airfield. This involved the stripping out of the aluminium AM2 runway matting, which was bought off the Americans just after the conflict and laid. At the moment, the job's going very well. The matting was lifted a lot quicker than ever anticipated. All has to be inspected and a decision made whether to send it back to the UK or not. At the moment, most of it is being sent back. That isn't is then offered up to the locals for scrap or for any other usage.
I would say overall it's been, the relationship between military and civilians has been very, very good, and I think people now in Stanley, especially the older people, are a little bit unhappy that the servicemen are now moving so far away and they won't be seeing them anymore. The older folk refer to the servicemen as our boys, and they like giving them meals and giving them a cup of tea, and they deplore the fact now that they don't know very many of them. I think the reports coming through from those who have been at Mount Pleasant for more than 4 months is very much a case of them feeling away from it all up there. They're not sure where to go. It's very difficult to get away from the place. People who work closely with the senior officers who have day-to-day contacts feel that in the future they will not really know those people. They will contact them by telephone, but face-to-face they won't know who they are. So obviously that is going to make life a little bit difficult for both sides, I think.
Stand by, firing now! Unlike grenades and so forth, mines are designed to sit in the ground and they don't deteriorate very quickly, and they could last for years, many decades in fact. The ones we've recovered from the minefields here are in perfect condition. We are very strong on public relations and publicity. We talk to all the school children at regular intervals. They're very aware of the problem. They're very good about it as well. They've grown up with it to some degree. We put out radio broadcasts every 2 weeks telling people of the situation and particular elements and risks which have cropped up recently. And any new arrivals to the Falklands are briefed up by our team as well. We have a remote control vehicle, the Redfire, which can deal with mines that escape from minefields or pose the threat of doing so.
appealing to fairly adventurous people and people who basically enjoy getting away to places which, if not wilderness, then verge on the wilderness, and enjoy seeing wildlife in its undisturbed state, and also people who enjoy seeing a pretty unique way of life. And I'm surprised because people are showing as much interest in that as they are in the wildlife. We are receiving only about 6 groups this year, which by anybody else's standards is not much, but when you consider that from 82 to 85 we had no tourists, that's not bad. It's a useful beginning. I think we're giving people a very exciting time. The results so far are very encouraging. People are happy with what we give them. People know that the climate in the Falklands is unpredictable, to say the least. That's putting it mildly. But when we have a nice day, it's absolutely second to none, really. I mean, we do have some very good weather in the summer, and temperatures around 17, 18 degrees centigrade are pretty common, and virtually everybody gets sunburnt when they come here.
He's not quite as big as the very large one, but he's caught by a killer whale, and he's badly scarred down his. You see where he's been scarred by a killer whale. Take your time, right? Well, all right. Set your camera again. All right.
Thank you very much indeed.
It's a very shy, timid bird. They nest here most years. A bit clumsy on land, but beautiful in flight. The scavenger time.
Not right over here, you would have seen it, yeah.
And they patrol all the beaches and the shores. All these islands.
That's right, it's the right as we're coming, you probably would have seen it, that's right.
The white-headed birds are the older birds, and the dark birds are the younger birds. We're not quite sure whether fishing boats have disturbed the wildlife round the island to the south, which is the Ascension Islands, which is the most southerly island in the Falkland Islands. Died heavily fishing last year. We're not quite sure whether fish stocks have been depleted around the Ascensions, but it's only an opinion. It's not anything. There's no actual survey. But it's funny that they've started
a site of very heavy fishing.
That's right. There were 600 boats counted last year around that area, and they scoop the sea. That's the thing. They don't just take the large fish. We believe that the scoop the sea take everything. Of course, they don't leave. They take the fry and the young fish and the breeding fish. It's very inquisitive. Yeah. They'll usually land on your hand or your feet and leave little messages, of course. But they call the blackbird by local people. They're usually just birds.
You won't see this site anywhere else in the world, will you? Oh yes, we're worth coming.
I'm glad I came. I wasn't a great lover before I arrived, but I now agree it's got to be preserved. But if it isn't preserved, it can never be regained.